So how on earth does someone end up breeding shrimp and making a business out of it, and a YouTube and TikTok channel? And I mean, shrimp? Yeah. I'm here to investigate. Anyway, this is Ems from Somerset Shrimp Shack, who's very kindly agreed to speak to me today. So thank you very much. And it's very nice to meet you. Thank you for the cup of tea as well. So this is what I want to know. There's a number of things I've noticed since I've been here, because we have been chatting. So obviously I want to know the background, how on earth you got into all this and why, apart from anything else, but also the filming side of it, how you actually, what you use to film, how on earth you deal with the reflections, because I've been having a right game trying to film some of these shrimp in these tanks. So just basically how it all works, and I'm still keep coming back to this question, why? So is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get right into it.
This is going to be fun.
So right. I suppose I should probably start from the beginning.
Yes, tell me about yourself and how you ended up with why the heck shrimp?
So, I mean, it stems from like a love of aquariums and everything, really. I probably started keeping my first own aquariums when I was probably about 18, maybe a little bit younger. It was more so just fish back then.
How old are you now?
I'm going to be 30 this year.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been about 12 or 13 years that I've been keeping them. I did have a bit of a break in the middle, but it was more so fish when I first started. Made loads of mistakes, didn't have a clue what I was doing, killed a lot of stuff, as you do. Yeah. Including shrimp, would you believe? I didn't know anywhere near what I knew now. This kind of started maybe about 2 or 3 years, probably coming up to 3 years ago. Ended up getting given a second-hand tank from a friend. Yeah. And I was like, I'll give fish keeping a go again. Got a better, so a nice blue Siamese fighting fish, and saw some shrimp when I was getting it. I thought I'll chuck some shrimp in there as well. They can be a bit iffy if they get on, but they were fine. The better, on the other hand, absolutely not. Anyone who keeps betters knows that they like to find weird ways to get rid of themselves. Yeah. Which is exactly what mine did. And I was left with this tank full of shrimp. And I went away for a few weeks and came back, and I had well over 100 shrimp sat in this tank. And I was like, what am I going to do with all of these shrimp? And that's kind of where that was the first step in the journey to this. Went onto Facebook and was like, does anybody in the local area want to buy some shrimp? Do you want to trade some shrimp for anything? And before I knew it, I got rid of all the shrimp I needed to, and made actually an all right bit of money from it. So I bought a second tank, as you do. Yeah. And I bought some blue shrimp, and I chucked the blue shrimp in it. And then it was yellow shrimp, and then it was green shrimp, and then I needed to buy a rack. And then I was getting to a point where I was like, okay, I've got enough of these shrimp now that I actually probably need to market myself a bit better. So that's where Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok came into it. So it started off with Facebook, and I would do little informational posts and videos and everything on there. Start building up a little bit of a local community. And then one of my friends who's quite into their tech said, you should give TikTok a go. It's basically a really clever way to market yourself, the way the algorithms work and everything. It's quite geographical. And so I took his advice, set up a TikTok on the 9th of December, 2024. And
that's not that long ago, really, is it?
So it's about 15 months ago. Yeah. So started doing that. And it was just a way to basically show people that I was selling shrimp or what I had in the tanks. And then it kind of allowed me to lean a little bit more into my creative side. And I would do guides on how to breed the shrimp and the little facts about them and stuff. Before I knew it, people were more interested in me making little videos about the shrimp than they were in buying them. So it was having the desired effect because I was selling the shrimp as well. So over the last 12 months, I've managed to get my own website built, and that's up and running. And I can
good website as well.
Actually registered myself as self-employed as a business and everything as well, alongside doing all the content and everything, which has been great. We got to 15k followers last week on TikTok, which I'm pretty happy with, for the fish niche.
It's a small, well, particularly shrimp. That's a very small niche, isn't it? So that's impressive.
Yeah. And And it kind of, yeah, it's just everything spiraled. I branched out into different types of shrimp. So like your Caridina shrimp, and linked up with other creators as well. So you make yourself through Matt. But myself, Matt, and a couple of other aquarium creators made a group called the Scapegoats, which is quite cool as well.
I know. There's a few. I follow most of them now at different times. I think you and Matt most of the group because you're doing sort of different things. But yeah, I do tend to watch the others as well. It's a nice group, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's really nice, and it's nice to be able to do stuff with other people in the same niche rather than it all being on your own, because it can be quite solitary.
It can.
But without properly going too nitty gritty into the detail, that's kind of how I got to where I am now. I started doing YouTube alongside that and everything too, just for the longer stuff, because TikTok's quite short and snappy. And where people were enjoying some of the scapes and some of the more informational heavy stuff, it made more sense to put it on YouTube in a longer format.
I think the educational aspect of it definitely does lend itself to that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I actually find that fascinating. So how did you learn this much about shrimp in the first place? Because I found there wasn't a huge amount of information out there when I started keeping them.
I guess my mind's kind of just a bit like a sponge. So I'm that sort of person where if a question pops into my mind, I'll get Google out. And I will search and search and search until that question's been answered. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, sat there. What type of shrimp lives in this area? What parameters do they need? Can you get them in the hobby? I hyperfixate quite heavily on stuff. So
that's a useful obsession thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So it's just kind of, because a lot of people, to be honest with you, like, people out there have opinions and stuff, and some people would probably look at me and go, he's only been doing it for a year and a half, 2 years.
You can learn fast if you're determined, though.
Exactly, yeah. And I think if you're trying out different things and you're listening to all of the different information and actually paying attention to it, there's also more than one way to skin a cat, so you can find out things for yourself as well.
Oh yeah, in the sort of scale that you've got, so many different types, so many small tanks. I'd imagine there's a whole load of stuff that you've just learnt yourself from that. You've had a lot of experience in a very short time, basically, haven't you?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, definitely, yeah. But it's been very fun. It's had its moments where it's been very stressful.
Dealing with living creatures just can be, can't it? Cardinas and NeoCaridinias now. For our viewers who might not know this, can you explain the difference, please?
Yes. So this quite generalised anyway.
Yeah.
So NeoCaridinas in the hobby are what we refer to as cherry shrimp.
Yes.
So that's what you commonly see everywhere. So like the red ones.
Were they called cherry because the first coloured ones were red?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered that.
But now when people refer to cherry shrimp, they could mean the whole family, NeoCaridina disease. So like people might say yellow cherries or blue cherries, but it's not really. It's blue diamond NeoCaridinas, fire red NeoCaridinas, etc. They're really easy. Getting them in the tank, they're a bit sensitive, but once you get them going, they're fairly easy. Don't need any special water or anything. It's just treated tap water. And they're fairly cheap. I will say though, there's like more than a handful of other NeoCaridinas, some of them which you can get in hobby, but doesn't get talked about. So there's one called like Zangensis. I can never remember how to pronounce it. But there's a couple of other ones out there. So it is a generalist term. Caridina. When we talk about Caridina, again, broad, it's a massive family, but most people are referring to like your fancy ones, like your boas, your crystal reds, blue seals and things like that. Your ones with the really funky patterns and everything.
Yeah, these are incredible.
Yeah, super nice. Harder to look after. Not to a point where it's like crazy hard, but it's initially a steep learning curve. Once you get over that steep learning curve, it becomes like second nature. It can appear intimidating when you haven't done it before. I put off doing it for a long time because I would get overwhelmed at the thought of it. But then, as soon as you do it, it's fairly simple. However, again, a mono shrimp, they're a Caridina, but the same rules don't apply.
I didn't know that.
So a mono shrimp of Caridina multidentata, they can be fine in tap water. Whereas
they strike me. I haven't had them, but they strike me as being really fairly straightforward.
Yeah, like Amano's are proper straightforward.
That's the problem.
Some of them are. Some of them are in their own way.
Yeah.
But these Caridinas, typically these would be Cantonensis and Serrata, or a crossbreed of those, but they are the more sensitive, fancy ones. But
I want some at some point, because mine are all the cherry shrimp ones, and I'll put you some videos of mine in later. But I would like to try some of these other ones, because they are absolutely stunning. So I should be, help, I'm stuck. What do we do with shrimp? It's a lot about the water parameters, I believe. With
yes. Those. Yeah. So it's with the Caridinas, the main thing is getting your carbon. This is really geeky terms now.
Oh, go for it, go for it.
So it's,
you can skip past this bit if you're not interested.
It's getting something called your KH, which is your carbonate hardness, to effectively be 0. And that's to do with the way it affects the shrimp and their health, but also because KH buffers the pH of water, so your acidity and alkalinity. So if you remove the KH, your pH can move much more freely. Because with Caridina, they need more acidic water. So the pH in a lot of these tanks is 6, whereas the Neos will be between 7 and 7.5.
So how do you maintain is it that then? I mean, how do you off into shrimp?
Yes.
He's got videos on this, and I will put you a link.
I'll try and do it as quick as possible. You use reverse osmosis water.
Yeah.
So reverse osmosis is the way in which it's filtered. It's a 4 or 5 step filtration method. And it removes everything, chemicals, heavy metals, basically H2O in its purest form, which means that it's got none of those minerals like KH, GH, etc. in it. You add that into a tank, you can then move the pH really easily. We make sure that the pH stays down by adding active substrate, which has nutrients in it, which pulls the pH more.
It's like normal aquarium soil stuff.
You can use normal aqua soil, but some of the more shrimp-specific ones will let you achieve a lower pH. So there are some that are engineered specifically for shrimp.
Okay.
But you can achieve it with like your fluval stratums and stuff as well, but they just might not last as long or have as good of an effect. You can also use botanicals to help you do it. So that's like your dried catappa leaves and Indian almond leaves and
hence
stuff.
All the stuff you've
got. Which we can talk about that later as well, because that's so all of that in combination. You then just have to add some chemicals to make sure the minerals that are needed are back in it. So it sounds complicated, but you can learn that in a day.
Once you got into that routine, I swear, how often do you have to test the water?
To be honest with you, and some die-hard aquarium keepers out there might absolutely shoot me for me saying this.
We've all got, it's like you say, there's so many ways to skin it.
You will get to a point where you don't need to be testing like every week or every other week. It might be, it might change to like once a month or when you notice something's off. So a lot of the time, visually, you can tell by the behaviour of the shrimp.
There's a lot of tuning into the creatures, isn't there? I find that with my
the plants as well.
Yeah.
And even down to things like the algae on the same. In a lot of shrimp tanks, we don't mind algae on the sides because it will feed the baby shrimp and stuff. Yeah. That can tell you a lot about the state of the tank as well.
Yeah.
So testing for me now will be sort of once every 3 or 4 weeks, or if I see something that looks like it's not normal. And then water changing, loads of different methods. So NeoCaridinas, I water change every other week, 20%. And that's like a regime that I stick out with those. And that's because with shrimp, you want to do a smaller amount just because...
Little and often type of thing.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to shock them. Yeah, absolutely. Over time, the water in your tank might have slightly dropped pH-wise compared to the water from your tap.
Yeah.
So if you was to do like a massive water change, about 50%, you might alter the pH, whereas if you take 10-20% out, you're not really going to have that much of an effect on it.
Yeah.
So it's just a good way of keeping stability. Not to say you can't do huge water changes. I know people that do like an 80% water change.
If you're desperate, sometimes you have to, don't you? But it's not the ideal.
But if people are consistently doing that, then their water's not going to be too far different from what they're adding into it. So they're not going to have that issue. But I always think little and often's better.
Yeah, I tend to go that route, except my really big tank, really big compared to these tank, where I quite happily do a 50% on that when it gets when I've cleaned the filter out, because it's a big sump system. And if I take the sponge out of that, it just fills the whole tank with sludge. So I tend to do a big water change after that. With a small volume, I think it's easier to tip the balance.
Yes.
Whereas with a big volume of water, you've got a bit more leeway.
Absolutely. So when I do like the TikToks and everything, I get quite a lot of people that are at the start of their aquarium journey asking about what size tank should I start with. And the analogy that I'll always say to them is, if you take half a pint glass of water and a pint glass of water and you put a single red food colouring drop in each, that half pint is going to turn a much deeper red than the pint. And you've got to imagine that red food colouring is toxins in the water.
Right, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So in a smaller volume of water, the toxins will build up. Will build up quicker. You'll have less time to act. Everything can just swing a little bit more. So it's they are more maintenance, but they do save space. So it's
it's a tricky one, isn't it?
If I had more space, I would go slightly bigger than these, because it would allow me to be slightly less involved in it and have more time to do other things, like with the business and the channel and everything.
Yeah, of course.
But
it'd be more that bit more stable for the little critters.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because I believe that is a thing with shrimp. They like stability. They don't like being messed about with too much. They like a bit of peace and quiet.
Absolutely. They're very, very hardy, but they just don't like sudden change.
I know when I've tucked in the orange ones that I got from you recently.
Yeah.
The red ones went crazy. That was sudden change. They liked us. Oh, I've got friends. And they're all just, what are you doing?
Hopefully they didn't see them as food.
No. It was as if having some new ones in there. What's that? About 6 or 8 of the red ones, I think it was, something like that. And then we added in, was it 5 oranges? I think.
Yeah.
But it was suddenly like they came out of the woodwork because at one change they did like seeing others. They was like, oh, well, I'll come out now and then. And it's like, they've suddenly got more
They do
friendly.
feel safer in numbers, yeah.
They do, definitely. And they're clearly not racist either. Because the orange ones and the red ones seem to be perfectly happy together. There's something I've been wondering, actually. I mean to ask you. There's a guy I follow. Is it Aquarium Adventures? Lovely guy. He's got discus in at the moment. He's setting up a business to breed and sell discus. This is his big master plan at the moment. But he was talking through setting up of a business and insurance and all the backstory to try and get a license to deal with animals, because you've got to have all that animal husbandry and it's all got to be right and recording. You've got to be doing all the right things. And absolutely right. The very best reasons for doing that.
Yeah.
These are inverts, aren't they?
Don't need a license.
You don't need. That's what I was thinking, because I've got wood lice. Sorry, isopods, and no rules seem to apply to them at all. You can feed them to other things, and nobody cares. I do, but other people don't care. Which you couldn't do with, say,
that makes me sad.
I know. You know how people keep snakes. I did have snakes briefly. You have to go and buy like frozen dead mice. You couldn't feed them legally. You couldn't feed them alive mice. House, but you can chuck crickets and bugs basically in because they're inverts. They don't fall under any rules, do they? So is that a hoop you've not had to jump through?
No. So
I
don't know why. I guess it's to do with their biological makeup, or
I think we perhaps just see them as bugs.
Yeah.
And we're not precious about bugs.
They're classed as a lower life form than fish are.
Shut your little ears, boys and girls. You're not a lower life form, you're little aliens.
So thankfully, less admin, less hoops to jump through. I think it would change a little bit if I ever decided to start shipping overseas, but I think that's a little way off yet.
But shipping abroad's a bit tricky at the moment, anyway, isn't it?
But as far as it goes, I mean, there's no you don't have to have any inspections. In a way, so it's good for a lot of us. It is also bad though, in a way, because you could essentially, and I'm not saying that anyone does this, but you could get somebody that does it really badly. You could get somebody that's just chucking together like big muddy vats in their garden, breeding really poor quality shrimp and pushing them into the hobby because it doesn't get regulated as much.
And whether they might be only little bug things.
Yeah.
But they're little characters, aren't they? They're living creatures, and I think there's a responsibility.
Yeah.
Even with little creatures like these, to look after them properly.
Absolutely.
It's a bit like it's like the micro version of these horrible puppy farms and things almost, isn't it? So even if it is just little critters like these, it's just not to be encouraged.
But to be fair, I don't know anyone that does it like that.
No, I don't, but you just wonder, don't you?
Yeah.
So that's why the regulation's there for everything else, isn't it? But I suppose you're kind of subconsciously applying those principles anyway, aren't you? Because you are looking after
they're still my pets at the end of the day as well at the same time.
You really are looking after their best interests in every possible way, aren't you?
At the core of it, it is still my hobby as well.
Yeah.
So this isn't what I do full time. I do also work.
What do you do actually? I've been meaning to ask you. What do you actually do?
So up until recently, I'm in between, sort of maybe moving around at the moment. But I was in construction, and that's what I've been doing for the last
subtly different then.
Yeah, last 4 or so years. So I was building the power station just down the road from here. The nuclear power station.
It's a bit different.
Yeah. That didn't allow for a lot of this because there was a lot of hours and everything into that. But construction's been terrible this year. So since December, I worked about 3 weeks because I'm self-employed in construction as well.
Right. Okay.
So I have just been scraping by doing this stuff. But
that's amazing that you can even do that. It shows that there is potential for
if you
people
had
to do
said that to me before Christmas, that I would be able to do that, I would have had an absolute meltdown and be like, that's not going to happen. But I think put in that position where I had to make it work, I've been able to push it that little bit further.
And what difference did it make introducing YouTube into the mix? Have you really? Because it's not been long, has it? So I'm not sure. I made
the YouTube about the actual account will say that I've been there for 12 years, but obviously it wasn't some section.
My account's probably 2 or 3 years older than it really, my channel.
But I think maybe about 9 months ago, I made my very first video, and that was just showing people like the original rack, which was just one, and talking about some of the tanks. And I didn't really do much of it. It didn't really take off. It was sort of only when I linked up with Matt and the others after Aqua last year, that I started to put more stuff onto there. And I find it allows me to give like a better quality of sort of educational style video, or share my information in a better way, or show off my artistic side with like scapes and stuff a little bit more. Not that I think I'm an amazing scaper or anything, but I do like to that's one of my favourites.
I don't get black water, to be honest. You love it or hate it, don't you? It's just not my thing. Although it's very nicely done one. But that one's beautiful.
But
so that's giving you a lot more scope, obviously, to talk about things you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You monetise very quickly, I believe.
Fairly quick. So probably about 6 months.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it, really?
I think
that's quite quick.
I went from about 100 or so subscribers to we're at 1,550 something now.
Yeah.
In probably about 5 or 6 months. It's slowed down a lot recently because I haven't had as much time.
Also, and I'm sure even Matt will bear this out, you find that January, February is always slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I was going, oh my God, it's me. Oh, what's happening? And then it starts to pick up around now, and then it'll have a bit of a slump around August.
Yeah.
Because everybody's on holiday.
Yeah.
And then you get a little flurry either side of it. So you do get those ups and downs.
That makes sense.
So if you slowed through that period, I'm not at all surprised. But I would say that's quite quick to monetise.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for YouTubers, as most of us end up in them, don't we? And people going, I've been doing it 2 years and I'm still not monetised. And
really?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably because they're missing something.
Yeah.
That when it clicks, they'll be fine. But I always think of anything like sort of 6 months or so is pretty quick, really.
So,
did you bring much of the audience over from TikTok? Because I suppose that was.
It's really hard to transfer TikTok over.
It's very different, isn't it? So I wonder how much.
Two very different audiences. I think when you do sort of content creation and like all of you have like a core audience that will follow you wherever you go.
Yeah.
And that's probably like maybe 5 or 10% of your viewership. That probably gets less as you get bigger. Probably like condenses a little bit more. But I would say there's probably about 30 or 40 people that I know wherever I go will watch at the moment, though, because I'm still fairly small. I've only got 1,500 on YouTube, 15,000 on TikTok, and then about just under 600 on Instagram and about 700 on Facebook. So there's still lots more to go.
Yeah.
But transferring people from TikTok, that's really everyone's searching for the next dopamine hit really quick. They want short, snappy.
It's a super scrolling thing, isn't it?
Whereas the sort of people that are watching YouTube, you might not have that overlap apart from like that core audience. So YouTube's been a lot harder to grow than TikTok, a lot harder. But I think what helped with YouTube was getting myself out there with companies. So.
Yes, you become a lot more visible, don't you?
Yeah.
I think they take YouTube more seriously because they know there's that extra commitment to it.
I managed to build my TikTok to a position where, like, as soon as I got to 10K, it was like brands suddenly wanting to start dealing with me. And it always feels a little bit weird as well, because in one aspect of what I do, I'm a brand. Yeah. In like Somerset Centre Shrimp Shack as the products I sell, breeding the shrimp and everything. But then the other 50%, I'm a content creator that wants to work with other brands. So it's like, it's a weird duality sometimes. And But I got in touch. So like the main thing for YouTube, I think, was getting in touch with TMC for the marine project. And when they said yes, that first part that I put out and setting the marine video up, I think I only had about 1,000, probably about 1,000 subscribers at the time, maybe less. But that video went out the end of December, and it's had about 16,000 views.
That's decent, isn't
it?
That's
Absolutely.
really impressive.
And if I hadn't had that tank from TMC, because TMC donated that tank to the project, then I don't think I would have started making those strides on YouTube yet, and I don't think I would be at the monetization yet.
They must be delighted, because it looks superb. I think it's a good example. Well, it does. It's a good example of their product being used properly. I mean, I would love that little tank.
It's great. It's the perfect. When I saw they did it, and I measured up, and I was like, that fits on the rack perfectly.
My shelf. It is.
And for a beginner, it's ideal. It's exactly what I needed to do when I was learning, to be able to show other people doing it.
But that early on, TMC are big, and they've been around forever, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back. My viewers probably don't know this, but I worked at a tropical fish wholesalers in my late teens and early 20s as a weekend job. And I'm sure it was TMC that the boss took me down when she was going to pick some of the marine stock up.
I think they supply pretty much everyone, don't they?
Yeah. I think they do. But I'm just thinking, that far back, would it have been TMC? I'm sure it was. They must have been there that long. And I just walked in, and it was like, oh, it was the most incredible place. So to get on board with a brand that big, that early, how did that actually happen? Did you contact them? Did they contact you?
I emailed them.
You just emailed them?
I emailed them, yeah. So I worked with a handful of brands. The very first brand I worked with was NeoCaridina. And I was fairly small at the time, but that's what all these light bars are.
Nice,
and
aren't they?
I only actually ever got a couple of products sent to them. I paid for a lot of it myself. So I've got like 8 of their light bars or something. They've only ever sent me one of them. I bought the rest because I liked their product that much. I was already using it, and I said, look, I like your stuff. Let's do something together. So they sent me a couple of products. I did some tank builds using them, did like an honest review. I don't buy into that whole, just because they sent it to me, I'm going to say it's all really, really good.
I'm totally with you. I've sent a couple of things that actually weren't that great. So instead, I've just given them feedback and said, look, I've done the video, but I'd rather just sit on it, because this is my observations. Let me know what you want me to do. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I just will not give a bad review. It's either an honest, good review, or there's no review, because I just don't think that's fair.
No.
It's just, you play it straight. It's what you've got to do, isn't it?
Yeah. But
because they trust you. It's your credibility, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Because if they go and buy it, and then they're like, well, it's nowhere near as good as you said it was.
No, you just can't do that.
Yeah. So, NeoCaridina were like the first one. I did 2 or 3 products with them. And then I was contacted by Haiger. I only actually really liked one of the products they offered me, so I only ever did one for Haiger.
They offered me a few. They're all, because obviously my channel where I do fish tanky stuff, it's got 500 subscribers, and only about 10 of those videos are fish tanky stuff. So I was surprised to hear from them at all, but they seem very nice. And they just sent me this one little light, and a bit like you, actually, I really like it. I could do a slightly bigger one now. I'm just going to buy it. It's expanded the tank, and then that one can go in my better tank. But it's just surprising how willing they are to.
And like
these firms are to deal with.
To be fair, they're making some good stuff. Like all of these brands that maybe aren't as big as you, like long-standing, like Jules and Flue Balls and everything. I do think some of the stuff they're making is sort of starting to definitely catch up with those bigger brands, and everything will be just as good.
There's some new innovative stuff coming out. So, I mean, you were saying about these little boxes. I don't know if I'm about to see this on camera, but you might need to send it. But these little boxes, that's a new brand, isn't it?
So that's literally one of my viewers is amazing in the workshop.
So there's all these,
and he's made them for me.
But there's all these little business. This is potential for little businesses popping up, making things that you just can't find. But suddenly you realise you need a thing, but it doesn't exist. And it's like we're talking about the habit stacks. I mean, those are genius.
Absolutely, and I think that was probably the brand collaboration that sort of was a bit of a turning point, because when I did that video, that absolutely blew up.
Because these aren't your cheap, normal, cheapy plastics.
No. No, these are good.
Can I get it out?
Yeah.
So this was serious stuff because this was a newly launched product, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I really want one.
Dave, the owner of the company.
Is it their first product? It's a thing you put plants in, but it's all in little sections. But you can separate it out so you can build it to what height you want. Your plants all go into here and root in, so you get a fantastic tower of plants. And when you want to move tanks, you just go... Done. It's just that is just simple genius, and it locks together really. Anyway, sales pitch over, so people know what we're talking about. Because I really badly want one of those.
they're very, because it's so modular. Like I broke mine down into 3 parts and put them in these 3 tanks.
Well, I've got this big, tall, clear tank that I think if I had 2 of those, well, it's 1.5. That would do it. You see, because I've got a height issue.
There's so many options with it. But when I did that was a big deal, wasn't it? Yeah, so that was like, that video did really well on TikTok and everything. Just popped over there for a minute. And then that was kind of what probably pushed the channel towards that 10k, as well as like doing the lives and everything too. And then now I'm at a point, so I'm working with TMC, I'm working with Flubel as well now. Really? So yeah, so that's a big in. Yeah, this tank. Beautiful, that tank, isn't it? So you guys are getting a sneak peek at that because I haven't actually got my YouTube video out on that yet. Yeah. But I love the dimensions of that because we've all got like funny shelves and spaces. I'm loving that you can get tanks in all sorts of different dimensions, and that's got built-in stuff as well, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a little all-in-one sub built into the back almost. It effectively works like a sub. Is a heater in there and everything as well? I mean, that is so neat. Yeah. Because you end up with, that's why I like my big sub system, because there's an in and out and that's it. Yeah. You don't have all this stuff on show. Yeah, so it looks really neat and clean on the inside. I'll be completely honest, I struggled with that tank because from the front pane to the back pane, if I was to put my hand over it like that, there was the back pane and here was the front pane. It wasn't even the width of my hand. So escaping in there was a challenge. For my age, it's about 6 inches. Yes, that does pose a challenge in itself. But it's, but that would, I mean, just the fact that it just fits on a shelf so neatly. Yeah. I mean, that would fit on my bookshelf. Oh, Flubel. That would fit on my bookshelf, that would. Beautiful. The lighting out here, is that one going to go green rather easily? We're in a conservatory, if you can't tell, folks. Is that going to be a green problem, do you think? Maybe initially, but there's going to be shrimp going in it. And they eat algae, don't they? As long as I don't start getting hair algae, we should be good. As we just touched on lighting. Yeah. This looks fun. I've been trying to film these. These tanks, and all I can see is me looking and my phone looking back at me. And how do you do it? With great difficulty. I can basically only film when the sun has set. I didn't plan to be here. So, I had to move back here. For whatever reason, I had to move back here, and this is kind of like ideal for all of these tanks. Anyone with tanks is probably going, "Why have you put those in the conservatory?" It's kind of the only place. It's the only place I can put them. Yeah, until it has made them nice and accessible actually, because you've got a reasonable space around them to do what you do. In the winter, it's great. Because it gets dark early, doesn't it? Yeah. But that's the only way, really, you can get rid of all the reflections on the glass and stuff. And what are you actually filming with? I do everything, all of my content with my phone. Your phone. That's all I use. So this is a message that I think is quite important. When people want to start a YouTube channel and they're all thinking, I've got to buy this, I've got to have a fancy camera. And guess what, folks? This is being filmed on a phone as well. Is it 2 or 3 year old? iPhone 15. You know, you can do a lot. The cameras on phones are really good nowadays, aren't they? And I think once you add in these little microphones, assuming it's working, yes, it appears to be. Really, you don't need that much kit. It's more about thinking about how you're going to film it. Yeah. In terms of like the lighting and the reflections and things like that, trying to sort all that out. You can actually do miracles with kit you've mostly already got. Yeah. So for anyone wondering that has ever looked at my videos or is going to go and look at them, the camera that I use is a Samsung S24 Ultra. Yeah. So I really rate the camera on that, especially for videoing. And I've heard quite a lot of other people say that too. I've heard that's a very good one. And so mine are iPhone Pro. That is, as you can see, it's got away. You can't. Ends could say there's lots of lenses on the back. Yeah. Because the camera on the Pro version's good. I thought if you're going to buy a phone, you might as well have the fancy one. Then it kills several birds with one stone, doesn't it? Yeah. So absolutely. But I mean, the filming I've had off that is more than good enough. But what I mainly use is literally just a tripod. I've got my own mics like you've got,
Yeah.
and my phone. And then editing wise, on long form stuff, I use something called DaVinci Resolve.
Yes, yeah.
It's a completely free software, so you don't have to pay for that.
So even that you can do on a budget. It's just a learning. I found editing probably the biggest learning curve.
Yeah.
Because I've never done anything like that at all. And I think of myself as reasonably techie, but that was a bit of a biggie for me.
You just got to kind of play around with it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still using CapCut, and I've been on that big scare.
So
CapCut's
good for TikTok stuff. CapCut's good for short form. Really
I find there's been all this big scare about the legal agreements with it, the terms and conditions recently. Yeah. But I'm sticking with it. I should
probably know that.
It is only CapCut as far as I know, but so far I've not actually seen any impact of it. It's just scared everybody. But I started looking at DaVinci Resolve and a whole load of other ones and thought, I'm going to have to take 2 or 3 weeks out to learn this if I try to swap.
I use a Hollyland Lark M2 or something.
Yeah.
It is pretty good. It's not too expensive,
brand, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a little bit cheaper than the DJI, but I think it works just as well. But I was looking for stuff to not break the bank when I was getting all those things.
To be honest, the prices come down on them as well, because these were cheaper than my first ones too. I think tech just does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah. But you can deal with something that's not necessarily quite in shot as long as you've got that crisp audio. Because I know that if I'm watching something, if the audio's bad, if it's really tinny and echoey, but if it's really crisp audio and it was slightly blurry imagery, then I can kind of get past it. So I always try and be the same when I'm making my stuff. Yeah,
I completely agree. But what do you do about lighting? Because you're in a conservatory. You see there's a very funky light up there, but it's a normal it's a normal house ceiling light for a conservatory. So what the heck do you do about the lighting? Bearing in mind the reflection situation.
So a lot of the time, so like I said, that after sunset was like no joke. It is literally when it gets dark outside is when I can start filming.
You'll be working night.
If anybody was a fly on the wall, for when I was making my aquascaping videos, they'd look at their watch and they'd see it was 2 a.m. when I was filming it.
I'm going to go back and watch those again. I was too busy being mesmerised with the plants and the rocks. And,
but you'll notice like most of my videos that I put out are filmed sort of right in the evening or in the dead of night.
So what do you do with lights then? Because they always look nicely lit.
Literally, I turn everything off in here, and then depending on where I'm filming, I will turn specific tank lights on or off.
Oh yeah, because you've got so many lights.
I've got a wall of light essentially here,
behind you.
Yeah,
which isn't the best place to have lights, is it?
And then but this one is like a nice warm light in there, so it works quite well. So a lot of the time I will film myself.
You just use that ceiling light.
Yeah, it's like quite a nice soft colour that it puts out. So that tank as well is pretty good. I'm not as advanced as Matt. The one thing I got recently was this, and it's not very good.
Yeah, ring lights are handy, but I'll tell you the problem I have with ring lights. For my main channel, which if anybody doesn't know is a crafting channel, I do epoxy resin and it's shiny.
Yeah.
So you not only get a reflection of yourself and all that business, but you get it's top down.
The ring, you can see the ring.
You can see the ring.
Yeah. So I don't really use that.
So you're just literally relying on the tank lights and a perfectly ordinary ceiling light.
Yeah, and I will just move myself around forwards, backwards until I can see that I'm getting the least amount of glare possible, and try and take angles where the reflection will not be of something brightly coloured. So I don't tend to film very often square centre on. Yeah,
and as well, which probably minimises that. I mean, my shirt looks ridiculous in this deck. You wouldn't want to do it in this shirt. It's just the silliest shirt I could find. So that makes a lot of sense. How do you get on filming on your own though? Because how do you know when you're in shot?
That is a challenge.
And how do you know when the lighting looks right if you can't see?
So I do 10-second test shot.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
Yeah,
I really do.
So I'll put it on record, walk over. I'll just talk to myself. Is the lighting good? Am I stood in the right place? Where's my reference point? Go back to the camera and then stop it, watch it back, and I'll be like, right, okay, no. And then I normally can like judge by here.
You've got built-in measures. And
like how far.
You know what? I did try to do this once. Then got back behind my camera and thought, that's fine, but I can't remember where I was actually.
It's like, like the edges of tanks are good places to line up and stuff as well.
Of course. That makes a lot of sense. And doing the test thing. Did it today, didn't I? I said, you said, should we test the microphones? No. So I hope the microphones are okay. That's awesome. So where are you going next with this then? So we talked about the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah. So
which is obviously just taking off nicely. You're getting going. You're at that point where people are taking it seriously. Yeah. And then you're getting the suppliers coming in as well. So you really are.
And then TikTok's been monetized since just before Christmas as well. So TikTok got monetized first.
Yeah.
And like, to be completely real with everyone watching, it's pennies at the moment.
Oh, it is at first. Yeah, it is.
Which is fine. And like, to me, it's a bonus. Like I said, I started this journey off as a way to market my brand and my business, and it just kind of, the content creation kind of fell onto my lap at the same time, and I enjoy doing it, so I kept doing it. So like, I'll be real for anyone watching, since I got monetized on YouTube about 2 months ago, I've made £15.
Don't spend it all at once.
But that's fine. Like,
I think mine was about the same.
Yeah.
The first one I actually got paid out, because it doesn't pay out until it hits a certain threshold, does it?
Yeah, £60, I think.
Yes, it was £60, and I think it took me 2 or 3 months to get at that £60. Yeah. Sat there.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal. It feels like it validates what you're doing. It feels amazing. Yeah. So aside from growing the YouTube side of it, and the TikTok, and obviously with a view to continuing to promote the business stories, where's the business going from here? So business-wise, like, is been doing very well as well. So I sell a lot of things other than just the shrimp. So do you want to talk us through what the products are? Because everybody's probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Botanicals. So we'll grab. Because these aren't necessarily fishy and shrimp people watching this. So these are botanicals, and a lot of them. Which is way up botanicals. So these are seed pods by the look of it. Yeah, seed pods and other bits of plants and leaves. And they've got almost pretty much medicinal properties and such for water and fish tanks and shrimp tanks. They help create a place for a lot of things to scavenge and get food from, but they can also give like antibacterial properties to your water. And they also just look nice when people are like decorating their tanks. They've got this multi-purpose to them. And there's loads of different unusual ones. And am I right in saying they're not just like go and find some leaves and chuck them in the tank? They have to be properly, because you can just use oak leaves and stuff, I believe, can't you? There are some that are native to the UK that got to be properly prepared though, haven't they? Yeah, you can't just chuck them in and hope for the best. There's a lot of them that you can use, but they're not from the UK. Yeah. So the exotic seed pods and things like that look fantastic in a tank. So they do look beautiful, but there's so many of them. I managed to get myself sorted with a supplier from Asia for botanicals probably about 6 months ago, and I've been working really hard to that section as well as the shrimp, get the botanicals out there. So about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, Maidenhead Aquatics added me as a supplier for 140 of their stores. So that's big, because Maidenhead Aquatics are that is how big they are. Is it 140 stores? Yeah, there's just like one in every garden centre that I've been to lately. That's amazing. And to be fair, like Alex at Maidenhead Sanders, which is one of my local ones, kind of took a chance on me when I first started doing these, and he would sell them in his store and everything. And as I kind of grew the brand through socials and stuff, people started taking me a bit more seriously. 2 more of the stores on the M5 corridor took my products on as well, and one of those was the Taunton one, the one that Matt used to work in. Yeah. So obviously, as soon as that store, fish from there. Yeah, that's where I went down to meet Matt. So you got Taunton, Sanders, and Cadbury, all in one row on the M5, and those are the 3 stores that already stock the botanicals in there. But I'm set up properly now, so they can call me up, order from me, and I can send it to whatever store they need. That's terrific. I have to say, because I have bought botanicals to go in my tanks. Yeah. And the quality, just because the sources I've got to get them from, varies a lot. And very often you either can only get like 1 or 2 and it costs a fortune, or you can get a whopping big bag but they're all the same. Or what you're doing with these little selection packs, they're just great. I was just looking at the little bags of kataka leaves and cones and things, and I'll put you all a shot of it on the screen too. But it's just, for me with my little tanks, it'd be like, that is just what I've been looking for. Yeah. And they're nicely presented as well. They are all properly sterilised and prepared and all that sort of thing, aren't they?
The only thing that we say with them is just I say we, it's just me, I'm the only one. The only thing that I say with them is just give them a little boil for 5 minutes, because I know to get into the country, they would have to go through some sort of fumigation process. Just to stop any like bugs.
Helps in sinking as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And it removes some of the tannins if you don't want the black water effect. It starts to reduce
so
that.
It's best practice. I mean, I never used to do that at all. I used to chuck them in. I never had an issue with anything happening from that. But they do sink quicker if you boil them for a bit too.
They do.
But yeah, so we sell botanicals. I sell the shrimp. I sometimes do plants. It's been a little bit harder to keep on top of it recently. But then I try and stock your other odd bits as well, like your nets and your sponge filters for your shrimp tanks.
Oh yeah, because you've got
like
a bit of stuff
there.
Those, that sort of basic design's been around for so many years. It works so well, doesn't it?
It's perfect for shrimp.
Because you haven't got too much current going on. It's going to be nice and gentle for them, isn't it? They're just surprisingly effective. I've noticed nowadays, this tells you how long it is since I've been messing about with fish. They hadn't used to have that rib defect around the sponges.
Right.
And I think that's another thing about better water flow and bigger surface area.
Exactly, surface area. Yeah.
But those have moved on over time.
So there's a bunch of stuff. I've also even branched out, and there's other like smaller breeders in the UK that are trying to do the same sort of thing as me. And like, I've always had this whole like, there's no point being at the top on your own. And shrimp breeding is quite it's quite a tight knit community. So I sell stuff in my store. There's 3 foods that I sell that are from Nick's NeoCaridinas. Nick's a nice, lovely gent that works on a farm further up country, and he just makes those in his spare time. He likes his shrimp as well, but I don't really make much off of it, but it helps him get his brand out there. And like, it gives my
numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives my customers more choice in and more selection as well. And the UK is not a small place, and even there's going to be probably hundreds of thousands of shrimp keepers in the UK. We can't all supply that one market ourselves, so why not work together? Which makes more sense too.
It does make a lot of sense. I wish more people thought that way. To me, that's it. It's like team up with people, work together. You are greater than the sum of your parts, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I really get that. I love that.
And
so what's next then? So you've already got this nice little product range on the go.
So you can be like a bit good news here if you want in this interview. So there's this is the next big thing for Shrimp Shack. Quoll Drop.
What is that?
So Quoll Drop is a brand. Yeah.
Show the camera. Yeah.
So this is a Polish brand.
Right. Okay. I'm okay with that. I have a Polish car.
They do remineralizers. So remember I was saying I have to add certain chemicals back and everything.
Yes.
But they also do loads of like professional specific feeds for shrimp. So this is to aid with molting, stuff like that.
Are shrimp really big in Poland?
Oh, they're huge in other countries compared to here. Like if you went to Asia, it's like a shrimp mad. But you got all of these different things that Quoll Drop do. Now there were 2 companies that were selling it in the UK, Quoll Drop, because it has to be imported. And unfortunately, they're not stocking it anymore. I think one of those businesses shut down, and the other one, I think they've gone into poor health and they're not trading at the moment, or they're on a break. So you couldn't get this at all anywhere until now. Yeah.
So you're going to be the official UK stockist?
So I don't think there's any exclusivity or anything that's being talked
but you
about.
Will be
but as it stands, they have nobody else in the UK selling it.
Wonderful.
So that will be
and for somebody as specialised as you, that's just amazing. It's perfect. You're the obvious place to be stocking it, really.
Yeah, and it will be like, that's always what I've used. And then I realised I can't get it anymore. And I thought, you know what, let's just give them an email and see if they want to work together and if we can bring their brand back to the UK, because that's going to be good for the hobby, because there's going to be a lot of people that can't get hold of it that need it.
I tell you what, this is a big message to the viewers. It pays to be a little bit cheeky.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? They could say no. But I mean, just having that mindset of, right, well, I'm going to need this, and so I'm going to talk to them about
Absolutely. And I think you have got to be a bit savvy sometimes.
We need to be brave, don't we? And trying.
I did have to jump through a little bit of hoops to do that, because I had to get myself set up with I think it's called an EORI number.
Is this an importer's number thing?
So I can import stuff now. But yeah,
there's a lot more to it than people realise.
Yeah, there is. But it was fairly simple. I didn't have to pay anything to get that number. You have to pay importation fees on what you bring in.
Oh yeah, because it's a business transaction, isn't it?
But I think all that I had to do was be set up as a sole trader to be able to get one of those, which again is relatively.
Which you were doing anyway because of everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
I think
that's a big deal actually, because I'm getting the sense that the whole shrimp thing is growing very much in the UK.
Yes.
And I think to a certain degree, this is just my theory, it's because you can work with small tanks.
100%.
And there's all this interesting little stuff going on.
And there's so much variation to what you can get as well.
It's something that's very accessible. I think nano tanks generally are a big thing nowadays.
Yeah.
And to be able to have something not other than just the fish in there, I think people are really catching on to it. So
yeah.
There's got to be a lot of potential for that. Of course, I should be a shopping list when I get home. And I need this, this and this. Sending orders in and stuff. That's fantastic. So, I mean, are you seeing this becoming like, is the ambition for this to be a full-time thing in the fullness of time?
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Or is that in the right way, clearly, isn't it?
I think it would be nice if maybe in 5 or 10 years that happened. But I'm not like banking on it because there is still a lot of unpredictableness with like social media and everything, whether you're going to be that person that does hit that big lucky break and blow up, or whether you're kind of just going to kind of plod along.
You're kind of going to have a plan B, haven't you?
Yeah. So I'll continue continue to work. And I think if anything, when I move and build the shack properly, which I want to do, build like a proper studio and a content studio.
I'll have to come and do a documentary about it.
And come back and visit when we're all in bigger and everything. But I'd probably continue working and maybe hire someone to help me with like the admin and packing side of things, because you got a lot of these time stealers which don't allow me to do the thing that I do really well.
For me, it's editing.
Yeah, so exactly.
That's another one. I'm dying to get to a position where I hire an editor.
So yeah, editing, packing the parcels to go. Takes me away from making the videos or paying attention to the shrimp and stuff like that. It
comes to a turning point, doesn't there? If you're going to scale it.
Yeah.
There's that very fine line between, well, I have to invest to do so. Can I afford to at this point? And I don't think you ever really hit that point until you just think, I'm just going to have to do this. Yeah. Because you just get stuck in that awkward gap, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I explained that very well, but that's how
I get you. And
that's how it feels to me.
When I'm packing botanicals, I pack them all by hand, and it's like you've got these little conker-sized things, and I've got to make sure there's 50 in a pack.
So somebody's got something.
And that takes a lot of time, and that's time that I could have spent making a video about how to care for shrimp, or a video on a new aquascape, or anything along that.
So, just have to say, of course, thank you very much to Ems. Somerset Shrimp Shack. If you fancy keeping shrimp or just want to know more about them or just watch and see what Ems is doing with all these wonderful little creatures in these lovely tanks, the link to his channel will be down in the video description below, as you would expect, of course. And in fact, I'll see if I can work out how to pop the link up on the screen with a QR code or some malarkey like that as well.
Right.
Watch this later. That's what you do, isn't it? Watch this next. I'm not very good at that. But yeah, so I think this is a journey. We're in early on in a journey that's already moving very much in the right direction. There's obviously been huge progress here. So I think all it remains is to wish you the best of luck. And I really look forward to seeing the rest of this business thriving. Personally, I think this is inspiring. It shows you what you can do if you really put your mind to it, and how much you can learn in a short time if you really put your mind to it as well. So thank you very much indeed. That's and right. I will see you lot for the next little adventure. Yeah.